Welcome to Jack and the Beanstalk. There once was a boy called Jack who was brave and quick thinking. He lived with his mother in a small cottage, and their most valuable possession was their cow, Milky White. But the day came that Jack told his mother about the cow.
Milky White has no milk. Then you have to sell the cow.
Jack's mother knew where Jack had to take her.
Take her to the market.
And she told him what to get.
Get a good price for Milky White.
So Jack set out to market, leading Milky White by the halter. After a while, he came to the side of the road, and an old man came by, and Jack told him where he was
We're
going.
going to the market.
Then the old man gave him some advice and said,
Don't go to the market.
and asked him what to sell him.
Sell me your cow.
And then he told him what he would give him.
Beans.
And the old man told him what to look at and said,
Look at these beans.
and told him what would happen.
If you planted them in your backyard, then a giant beanstalk will grow tomorrow.
Jack wondered about the beans for his cow, and he asked the man,
What? Just beans for a cow?
and the old man told him how good they were.
They'll grow a big beanstalk.
And then Jack asked the old man how many. And the old man answered, told him how many beans he could get. Right, that's right. So Jack turned right around to go back home, so pleased with his 5 beans. When he reached home, his mother said,
Back so soon, Jack?
and she asked him about the price.
Did you get a good price for Milky White?
Jack told her what he had done with the cow.
I sold a cow for 5 beans.
But before he could finish his story, his mother shouted and said,
You boy. Okay.
and she
How
wondered,
did you just get 5 beans?
she was really worried and said,
What are we going to live on? We're going to starve to death.
and then she threw the beans through the open window and sent Jack to bed without a supper. He went to sleep and slept all through the night. When Jack woke up the next morning, there was a strange green light in his room. All he could see from the window was green leaves. A huge beanstalk had shot up overnight. It grew higher than he could see. Quickly, Jack got dressed, stepped out of the window right on the beanstalk, and started to climb. Higher and higher Jack climbed until at last he reached the top and found himself on a strange road. He followed it until he came to a giant castle where he could smell the most delicious breakfast. Jack hadn't eaten breakfast, and he said,
I'm hungry.
just as he reached the door of the castle, he nearly tripped over the feet of an old woman. The giant's wife asked him what he was doing.
What are you doing here?
And then she told him a very dangerous thing about being a boy.
My husband likes to eat for breakfast.
Jack was scared and he cried out.
Please don't eat me.
And what did he come for?
I only gave you something to eat. It smells so delicious.
Now the giant's wife had a kind heart and did not really enjoy cooking boys for breakfast, so she gave Jack something else. He was still eating it when the ground began to shake with heavy footsteps and a loud voice boomed. The giant's wife warned Jack to do something. She told Jack to do something. She told him to go hide, and what would happen after breakfast? What would the giant do? He would fall asleep, and when he was sleeping, he could get away. But even though Jack was hiding, he could see into the giant's room, and he heard a terrible rumbling voice.
I saw the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive, be he dead. I'll grind his bones to make my bread.
And then the giant sniffed the air and said, he sniffed the air.
A boy, I smell a boy. What? Do I have boys for breakfast?
But the wife told a lie, and she said,
No, dear.
and she told him what he had.
You smell sausages.
And then the wife reminded him about the last boy.
Are you smelling the boy that you beat last week?
And the giant sniffed the air suspiciously, but at last he sat down and ate a big breakfast. Then he fetched his bag of gold from the cupboard and started counting his gold.
Oh, gold. I thought it was a hen.
He counted his coins. Before long, he dropped off to sleep. Quietly, Jack crept out of his hiding place. He picked up the coins and ran as fast as he could to the top of the beanstalk. He threw the coins down to his mother. And at the bottom, he found his mother looking at amazement at the gold coins in the beanstalk. His mother couldn't believe it, and she asked him,
Where have you been, Jack?
and she asked him about the gold.
What is this gold and what is this beanstalk?
Jack told her of his adventures and what had happened.
I climbed to the beanstalk, I climbed up the beanstalk. I found the castle and took the gold.
Jack and his mother used the gold to buy food. But the day came when the money ran out, and Jack decided to climb the beanstalk again. It was all the same as before, the long climb, the road to the castle, the smell of breakfast, and the giant's wife. But she was not so friendly this time. She was mad about the money, and she asked him a question. She asked him who he was. She asked him if he was the boy that was there before, and she asked him about the money. She asked him if he was the boy that did something, that stole the giant's money. But Jack told her she was wrong, and in time her heart softened, and she gave him some breakfast. Once more Jack was eating